So my point is this. If in 2024 the Democrats ran with a socialist and felt the socialist was too far left, so they had to fake it into making her a old-time Democrat. Well, why would they think a communist would have better luck as a moderate than a socialist in 2028? And for that matter, look at 2020. They had a lot of socialists up there. They had Bernie Sanders, they had Elizabeth Warren, they had Julian Castro, they had Buttigieg. They were far left of the Democratic Party. And what did they do? They brought in old Joe Biden from Scranton, the working's man, the guy who said that he didn't want his kids living in a racial jungle, the guy who said that Barack Obama was the first clean, articulate black person to run for president. Just horrible stuff he said. Put you all in chains, all that stuff. So they nominated him for the explicit purpose that he would be a moderate veneer and hide their socialism. And he won. He won. And so they don't have any record of winning with socialism anywhere outside a purple state. We'll see in Texas. Maybe we'll see in Michigan with those two Senate races. But I doubt it. I'm not sure that either one of them is going to win. But I know that you don't solve the problem of being too left by nominating a communist in 2028. So Mondami is talking really big, where this is the way with the future, but he can't point to any purple states or red states where it's taking hold, and it won't take hold. We saw a version of it. The Tea Party was very different. It incorporated a lot of mainstream Republican. It was angry about two things: spending too much money and Obamacare and rhinos. But nevertheless, in that following primary, they nominate a lot of poor candidates for Senate. They could have taken the Senate back, but they were tagged as too extreme. But they were not too extreme in terms of these people relative to right and left. These people are really out there. And do they think that's going to help them? Should ask Eugene Debs how he did in 5 elections.
Right. Well,
maybe they can ask, I don't know, they can ask George McGovern how he did.
We are talking about Michigan. The Michigan Senate candidate is Abdul El Sayed, and he's leading in current polling.
We'll see.
He is. There's a webinar that's come out of him appearing alongside a convicted murderer. I'm reading Washington Free Beacon piece now, and a registered sex offender in a webinar with a prison abolition group. He endorsed any and all efforts to get people out of jails and prisons, and said locking up criminals was akin to robbing them of their freedom. And he's
Mondami said he's been a big success. Everybody's got money will leave New York pretty soon. But and he said he took credit for the crime. He's only been in office, 6 months? And he's not even that. And he's already bragging that the crime didn't go down for him. It went down because Trump deported 400,000 criminals nationwide and closed the borders and got tough on sentencing. And that was a great gift to New York that Trump gave to them.
Yeah. By the way, on that front, two things, Victor. I was at last week, Friday, Saturday, Faith and Freedom Coalition conference in Washington, Ralph Reed's organization, and Tom Homan spoke, and he came out on the stage. And as soon as he came out, this guy is just a rock star. I mean, everyone who appeared there was, Trump spoke too, but Homan, there's something truly authentic about him. But he was talking about these, going after these, they found 147,000 children now. To think that the United States of America under Biden would allow all these children here, many of them to become victims of perverts, is just, it's a true national sin. And but Tom Homan's doing is just a tremendous work.
It is, and that's an untold story. Nobody talks about it because left-wing people have exemptions. They can do almost anything. It's not good for the Democratic Party to control all these institutions and excuse everything, because it just emboldens them to be even more radical.
Yeah.
I gave an interview today to Voice of America, and we were talking about the difference between immigrants today and in the past, both aside from the fact of illegality in many cases. But one of the things that's not being talked about, and I know I'll get criticized for this, but here it is. If you look at the candidates, Chevrolet, I should say, and AOC, and Rashida Tlaib, and Mondami, and to go on, but the kingpins,
Right.
they're mostly first or second generation. First or second generation immigrants, and they come from areas that, to be candid and a little blunt, or failed, miserable places, such as Ghana or the Caribbean or many Latin American countries or Mexico. And I could very much expand that list to almost 50 to 60% of them are. So they come to this country either with their parents, or their parents came and they were born, and then they put their feelers up, their little antennae, and they learn very early on that if you trash this country, the left will protect you and advance you, and no matter how much money you have. AOC's parents were pretty affluent. Ilhan Omar claims she was worth $30 million. Mondami's a multi-millionaire, settler colonialist from Uganda, and when you look at all of them, they have nothing but for contempt. This Chevrolet, whatever her name is, Chevrolet, she says she wipes her hands on the American flag and all of this stuff. Then don't come. There's no reason you have to come. You came here because it was prosperous and safe, and there was not inbred tribal racism as in all these countries. Apparently, the people came with Ilhan Omar because they were on the side of the genocidal Saeed Berry. They keep saying genocide. The only person that really is a genocidal maniac was Saeed Berry, the head of the Somali government, of which a lot of these immigrants' parents were part of, including Ilhan Omar. Nobody ever says to her when she walks down the street, genocide, your dad had blood on his hands. Oh no, he was only a colonel. He was a school teacher. He was an instructor. No. You have the same latitude as when you call other people genocidal. So it's something we don't talk about, but you know what it's done? It has soured so many people you talk to about legal immigration. That used to be our strength. And we've had so many wonderful immigrants from Europe, Australia, Canada, all over the world, Mexico. And yet they came legally, they came in manageable numbers, they were diverse, they didn't come in big swarms, and they didn't try to immediately say to the United States, you're wanting, you're this, you're bad, I want stuff from you. And then this big lie that immigrants are less likely to be on federal or local assistance, and that's been blown up and out of the air with all billions of dollars of fraud. 80% more likely to be on assistance, and so we've changed our attitude about immigrants, especially when you have 16% of the population and 53 million here, and they don't like the way the United States is. It's like you say I'm having a open house, and somebody comes over to your house uninvited, and he wasn't invited, just walks in your house and says, oh, the food is terrible. This is an ugly house. You're a sexist. I hate this place. Oh, by the way, I'm going to sit down at your table, and I like that ribeye over there, and then I would like that fine Chardonnay, and what is for dessert? And then when you eat and feast, you say, I got to get out of here someday, but you know what? I think I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll move into the back bedroom. Right. That's what the attitude is. And the host says, I can't believe this. But how many hosts would put up with that? Almost none. And then when you factor in the Democratic Party is encouraging this because they have a bankrupt agenda that appeals to 30 or 40%. So they're bringing in millions of constituents. And then the moment they do it, anybody complain, you're a racist. You believe in the great replacement theory. No, you do. Democrats, you're the one that says demography is destiny and the new Democratic majority. Yeah. And believe me, if All these people coming in from Haiti were right-wing Cubans. Can you imagine right now when after the Supreme Court said they could be deported? You'd have all these anti-ICE protesters protesting to drive them out.